This next one sounds like a movie plot. A woman who was trying to send a message to an ex-boyfriend apparently set the wrong house on fire by mistake, according to the sheriff's office in Rowan County, North Carolina. WBTV reports that the homeowner was awakened in the early morning by a neighbor who spotted a woman trying to set fire to the house. There were bundles of wood and a fire on the front porch, and deputies later located a jug of bar and chain oil that they say was used to light and spread the fire. The homeowner came outside and tried to get water on the fire. When he came out, he noticed a woman was standing near a car that was blocking the driveway. The woman was later identified by deputies as 49-year-old Christy Louise Jones. Deputies say the homeowner went to get the garden hose and then noticed that pieces of wood placed around a propane tank were on fire. The homeowner's garden hose didn't work because Jones allegedly used Flex Seal to try and seal off the water. Boy, this woman covered the bases. The homeowner then grabbed a rifle and confronted the woman. According to the report, Jones did not have much to say and just mumbled. As firefighters and deputies' sirens could be heard coming to the location, Jones reportedly got in the car and left, brushing the homeowner with the car as she drove away. The homeowner was able to get the license number and a description of the car, while another witness recognized Jones and told deputies where she lived. Deputies went to the house where Jones lived and talked with her. They charged her with felony first-degree arson, among other charges, and bond was set at $101,500. A witness told deputies that a former boyfriend of Jones did own property in the area and that they believed Jones may have targeted the wrong location.
And I thought people were just using COVID symptoms to get out of work. WSB-TV2 Atlanta reports that a Georgia man called in a bomb threat to his workplace in order to get off of work. 23-year-old Elliot Sherman worked in Port Wentworth, Georgia, as an employee of a staffing agency. He admitted to calling in a bomb threat on September 11, 2021, so the other workers in his carpool also would be dismissed, and he wouldn't have to wait for his ride home. Sherman was subsequently fired, arrested, and now owes nearly $40,000. He pleaded guilty to false information and hoaxes, according to U.S. Attorney David H. Estes. Sherman, who had been behind bars since his arrest in May 2022, was also sentenced to time served and 2 years of supervised release. During the ensuing investigation, the staffing company was forced to halt operations at 2 warehouses at the cost of $38,400, according to U.S. Attorney Estes. With the thoughtless tap of a few keys on his phone, Elliot Sherman shut down a major port facility and initiated a significant law enforcement response, said U.S. Attorney Estes. He also cost himself a job, his freedom, and thousands of dollars. Added FBI Atlanta Special Agent Kerry Farley, anyone who decides to carry out a threat like this, especially one so inappropriately timed, can expect the FBI to come knocking to hold them accountable. What happened to good old excuses like, I got the sniffles, or I've got a doctor's appointment, or my sister's goldfish died? Seemed like there were a lot of better ways to go on this one.
You talk about letting things build up. WPTA ABC 21 reports that a man started a fire at a used car lot because he was still upset about a Jeep that he'd purchased there almost 40 years earlier. 79-year-old Dewey Frederick from Fort Wayne, Indiana, was caught on surveillance video starting a fire that resulted in over $50,000 in damages at the O'Daniel Automotive Group used car lot. Video shows Frederick opening the fuel door to a Jeep on the lot, igniting a road flare, and putting it in the fuel tank before driving off. The car lot posted about it on their Facebook page, asking for help in identifying him. The fire spread to 2 other cars in the lot, resulting in a total loss of about $43,000 for all 3 cars, documents say. Police say Frederick then drove to O'Daniel Mazda and cut open the roof of a convertible and dropped a lit road flare into the car, causing over $13,000 in damages. When speaking with police, Frederick said he started the fires because he bought a Jeep from O'Daniel back in 1986 that he claims had a bad motor that they refused to make right, so it was time for the chickens to return to the roost. He then admitted to putting superglue in the door locks of several cars on their lot shortly after that purchase. Police say Frederick was upset about not seeing the initial fire he caused, and when he was shown surveillance video, he said, "Oh, that fucker was cooking, wasn't it?" Detectives say he laughed when he was told the owners of the car lot were not happy about the damage. Frederick is currently charged with 4 counts of arson. Imagine if this guy had problems with a house he bought.
You'd think this guy would have found it strange how smooth the ride was. The BBC reports that a man boarded a sleeper train in Glasgow, Scotland that was headed for London, slept all night, then discovered the next morning that the train never left the station. Jim Metcalf said he and other passengers essentially woke up in the wrong city, not knowing the train had been cancelled. Direct journeys between the English capital and Scotland were scrapped due to heatwave damage, as the UK recorded its hottest day at the time. The heatwave resulted in train tracks overheating and buckling, and overhead cables failing. The train service, called Network Rail, said staff had worked through the night to make repairs. The 43-year-old Metcalf told the BBC, "I can't sleep before it starts moving, so I get on early and try to sleep first." He added, "There was a knock on the door at 5 a.m, and the guy very kindly appeared with a roll and sausage and coffee. He explained the train hadn't moved." Having checked if the train was still running before he traveled to the station, Mr. Metcalf was initially frustrated by the situation, but praised rail staff for their handling of it. He added, "I would say in a really difficult situation, the onboard train staff were really calm and professional and handled it as best they could." Problems caused by the heatwave continued to affect the trains the next day, with London passengers queued outside as well as inside Glasgow Central Station. The first direct service bound for London finally left Glasgow shortly before 1 p.m. that afternoon. Well, at least he got a good night's sleep, a roll, and a sausage out of it, right?
If you want to see all our videos about real news stories that are funny, stupid, or weird, click the subscribe button below. I mean, hey, my cat's gotta eat.